The Fisherman and His Wife. The fisherman and his wife lived on a cliff near the vast sea. The fisherman was used to going daily to the cliff to catch fish to earn his living. He was happy with his simple life, but he knew that his always angry wife did not share his happiness. One day when he returned home, his wife said, "Look at this house. It smells awful, and I clean it day and night with no use." The fisherman loved his wife, but she always complained. If he caught 2 fish for her, she would ask for a third. If he brought her mangoes, she would demand apples. Nothing ever made her happy. One day, the fisherman asked his wife, "My dear, what can I do to make you happy?" She replied, "Take me out of this house, and I will be happy." One day the fisherman went to fish as usual. The waters were blue and calm. He sat and cast his line into the sea. Hours passed, and he began to feel tired. He said to himself, "Looks like we'll be eating fruit today. Wait a moment, I feel something." The fisherman held his fishing rod tightly, pulling it with all his strength. "It's heavy. It must be big," he exclaimed. He was astonished when he pulled up the hook to find a small, colorful, and shiny fish. The fisherman wondered, how could something so small feel so heavy? It must have eaten a lot. To his surprise, the fish spoke. "Fisherman, that's not why I'm heavy." The fisherman, bewildered, said, "Did you just talk? What's happening? How do you know me?" The fish replied, "I know a lot about you because I am a special fish. I am an enchanted prince. Please let me go. My meat won't be tasty. Spare me, I beg you." The fisherman said, "Say no more. I won't eat a talking fish. I'll let you go." The fish said, "Thank you." Excited to tell his wife about the talking fish, the fisherman rushed home, forgetting he hadn't caught any fish. He entered and said, "My dear, I have something extraordinary to tell you." His wife angrily said, "What? Did you not bring any fish?" The fisherman replied, "No, but I caught a fish that spoke. It told me it was an enchanted prince." His wife exclaimed, "What? And what did you do?" The fisherman said, "I let it go. It's back in the sea." The wife shouted, "You caught a magical fish and just let it go? Why didn't you ask for a better house? We are poor and hungry, and our house is filthy." The fisherman said, "How could it give me a house? We should be happy with what we have." His wife insisted, "That would make me happy. Didn't you say it was an enchanted prince? You saved its life. Surely it can repay you. Go and ask for a new house." The fisherman hesitated but went back to the sea. To his surprise, the water had turned green and yellow. He called, "Fish, do you hear me?" The fish appeared immediately, as if it had been expecting him. The fisherman said, "My wife is unhappy." The fish asked, "What does she want?" The fisherman replied, "She wants a new house." The fish said, "It shall be done." The fisherman returned to find his wife standing at the door of a lovely wooden house. It was tidy, with furniture and even a fireplace. His wife said, "Wow, look at this house. It's bigger and cleaner." The fisherman said, "Yes, we even have a fireplace. This is wonderful. Are you happy now? We'll live here forever." His wife said, "Forever? We'll see. Let's eat now." That night, the wife could not sleep. She kept thinking about what would make her truly happy. The next morning, she waited for her husband at the breakfast table. When he arrived, she said, "Good morning, my husband. This house is too small. I want a palace, and I want to be a queen. Go back to the fish and ask for a palace." The fisherman said, "What? Why do you want to be a queen? This house is enough." His wife replied, "Let me decide that. Go back to the fish and make me a queen." Reluctantly, the fisherman returned to the sea. The water had turned purple, and strong winds were blowing. He called, "Fish, do you hear me?" The fish appeared and asked, "What does your wife want now?" The fisherman said, "She wants a palace and to become a queen." The fish replied, "It shall be done." The fisherman went back and found that the small house had disappeared, replaced by a grand palace with brass gates and servants running around. His wife sat on a throne wearing a crown. The fisherman said, "You've become a queen." His wife replied, "Yes, I am a queen now." The fisherman asked, "Isn't that wonderful? Are you happy?" The wife thought for a moment and said, "No, I want something else. I want to be an empress." The fisherman was shocked. "What? That's too much. The fish won't make you an empress." His wife retorted, "How do you know? Go and ask the fish. I want to be an empress." The fisherman, filled with doubt, returned to the sea. The water had turned brown, and the winds were fierce. He called, "Fish, do you hear me?" The fish appeared. The fisherman said, "My wife is still not happy." The fish asked, "What does she want now?" The fisherman replied, "She wants to be an empress." The fish said, "It shall be done." The fisherman returned to find the palace even bigger. The brass gates had turned to gold, and his wife sat on a golden throne holding a golden orb and scepter. Kings and ministers stood below her. The fisherman said, "You're now an empress." His wife replied, "Yes, I told you the fish would make it happen." The fisherman asked, "Are you happy now?" His wife hesitated and said, "I don't know. We'll see. It's been a long day. Time to rest." The fisherman was worried she would ask for more, and he was exhausted from running around all day. He fell into a deep sleep, but his wife couldn't sleep. She sat thinking about what would make her truly happy. A week passed, and each night the fisherman hoped she would be satisfied. But she stayed up every night, staring at the moon and stars. One night, tired of thinking, she wanted peace, but the sun began to rise. She exclaimed, "What? Morning already? How dare the sun rise when I haven't slept? Husband, I want to speak to the sun and moon and make them disappear whenever I wish." The fisherman was horrified. "Enough! Please, no more. It could be dangerous." His wife insisted, "It won't be dangerous, and I'm in charge. Go to the fish and fulfill my wish now." The fisherman pleaded, "My dear, you don't understand what you're asking." She said, "I won't tolerate it if you don't go. I'll be very, very unhappy." The fisherman knew it was wrong, but he wanted to see her happy. As he approached the sea, dark clouds gathered and the wind howled. The water was pitch black. The fisherman called, "Fish, do you hear me?" The fish appeared, and the fisherman said, "My wife is still not happy." The fish asked, "What does she want now?" The fisherman replied, "She wants to speak to the sun and moon and to become invisible." The fish said, "It shall be done." The fisherman ran back as fast as he could, wondering what had become of his wife. When he returned, she had vanished. He searched everywhere but couldn't find her. He ran back to the sea, which had become calm and clear. The clouds had disappeared, and the sun shone brightly. The fisherman called, "Fish, please come back." The fish appeared. The fisherman asked, "What happened to my wife?" The fish replied, "I granted her wish. Your wife wanted to be invisible, and now she is. How can anyone see someone who is invisible? No one will ever see her again." The fisherman begged, "Please bring her back." The fish replied, "That cannot be undone." The fisherman had an idea. "Wait, I made wishes for my wife, but I'm the one who saved your life. Let me make a wish." The fish considered this and said, "Very well. What do you wish for?" The fisherman took a deep breath and said, "I wish for my wife to be happy." The fish replied, "My friend, she had everything to make her happy." The fisherman rushed home and was astonished to see his wife standing at the door of their small but renewed cottage. He ran to her, exclaiming, "You're back!" She smiled and said, "Yes, I've learned that palaces and thrones don't buy happiness. Come, my husband." From that day on they never felt hungry, and his wife realized that happiness lies in the simplest things. They lived happily ever after.